And we are fast approaching November 2024 ahead of the U.S. elections. Now, Donald Trump has launched a fresh wave of personal attacks against Vice President Kamala Harris as new polling shows her gaining ground in key battleground states ahead of the Democratic National Convention. At a rally in Pennsylvania, Trump criticized Harris on issues like inflation. Now, he also spoke on her appearance, and Trump said he's much better looking than her. Now, despite advice from Republicans and advisors to focus on the issues, Trump continues to use his popularist and confrontational style, straying from his script to deliver insults. Now, this approach has raised concerns among his team, who worry it may alienate undecided and independent voters, crucial to his chances in the November election.
You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you? Joe Biden hates her. This was an overthrow of a president. This was an overthrow. They went out. I spent $100 million fighting Joe Biden. They told him he couldn't win. His debate performance wasn't the best ever. But they said mine was the best ever. But they said his debate performance wasn't. I look forward to debating her, by the way. She'll be easier. She'll be easier than him. He said, this woman is nuts. Look, people say, be nice. Have you heard her laugh? That is the laugh of a crazy person. That is the laugh of a crazy. It's the laugh of a lunatic. Have you heard it? They prohibited her. They prohibited her for laughing. I've been waiting for her to laugh because as soon as she laughs, the election's over. But we're winning by a lot in Pennsylvania. I think the fracking got her. The fracking got her. She said one thing that got me. She said Kamala has one big advantage. She's a very beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. So I decided to go back and reread the clause. I'm not saying he's, but I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better looking. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
In the visuals there, you just watch as Trump at the Pennsylvania rally ahead of the election, making some very crude comments about Vice President Kamala Harris. And so to discuss this further, I'm being joined by Ejike Okpa. He's a global affairs analyst, joining us live from Texas, USA. Well, we're pressed for time, sir, but many thanks for joining us this morning, afternoon-ish. But let's get started. Looking at that video and seeing how much he's straying, from the real issues, I'll have to ask, what are the most critical issues that will sway undecided voters in this election?
Thank you for having me. I am not perturbed by the antics, the personal antics of candidates in America. That's just the nature of campaign. You stick to the script, and then you'll also get off the script. But the point is that we know what the issues are. There's no issue that Trump is going to introduce now that we, the Americans, don't already know. So what he does is what Trump does. Those who are going to vote for him will vote for him regardless. And then those who will not vote for him will vote for him. So the point is that we're excited that at least we now know who we are facing. Kamala Harris, her record is out there, Trump's record, out there as well. So you compare and contrast. The election in November is about the soul of America. Do we want to, go with what Joe Biden has given us in, support of Kamala Harris as number 2? Or do we want to, see an America that is a republic, not necessarily a democracy? We have to make that distinction. America is not a democracy. America is a republic. And so when people get confused as to the use of those two words, I say, go back to the American Constitution. The word democracy was never used. So that being the case, we have to. We have to rescue America. And, fortunately, unfortunately, those are the two candidates we're going to be voting for. And so Americans are concerned. I'm a Republican. I'm a Trump supporter. I am nervous because, Kamala can win. And if Kamala wins, we know what we're going to get. So whatever that will destabilize her, put her in the position that we already know she is. And it's all a good win for us. It's all a good strike. Offense to be offensive is oftentimes better when you want to defend what it is you want to defend.
I want to ask again, just to be clear. I don't know if I got that right. Did you just say that you are a Republican and you support Trump? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay.
I supported him from the first time. And if Trump had won,
as a supporter, I have to ask: what are some critical issues then would you like for him to address to stay away from the antics? Because we've seen some key players in the Republican Party who've asked that he sticks to the script and speak to the issues so that he can sway the undecided and independent voters. What are some critical issues you as a supporter, what are some critical issues you would like for him to address?
Good point. I have even written that, people who know that I support Trump have contacted me and said, hey, can you get a message across? And I have used the channels that I know to send. I'm not a campaign manager. When a candidate is behind the podium, who knows what other things that persuades them to do what it is they do. But the issues that I would like to see happen is our border, our southern border. A country integrity is violated when people willingly and wishfully enter it. We need to secure our border. Nobody should die coming to America. Come to America legally like I did, and then you avail yourself of the benefits. The nuisance of other countries should not be the burden of America. When people just come in here just because of the fact that things are hard in their country, I say you don't even know things are harder in America. But that does not warrant you, just like your neighbor. You don't go crashing the door of your neighbor, jumping the fence because they have a better life based on your own imagination. So I want him to speak to that. I want him to talk about the economy. I want him to talk about oil and gas. America has more oil and gas than any other country. We are the largest producer of oil and gas. So we don't have to buy from countries that when we buy from them, they turn around and they whack their fingers in front of us. So those are the issues. The issues are very simple. We want public safety. We want a stable economy. We want the interest rate we pay our money on borrowed capital to be back to what it was when he was in office the first time. And that's good. Americans know those things, and that's what they want to see come January 2025.
But we wait to see whether or not the former President Donald Trump will be addressing these issues and stick to script. But hey, Ejike, I want to say many thanks for doing this with us. We appreciate you for coming on. Ejike Okpa
Thank you for having me.